Hey everybody, this week on Woodbrew we built this awesome mid-century bed.
Alright guys, so the first step is to grab your two nicest sheets of plywood. These two pieces are going to make up the headboard, so you want to pick out the nicest looking ones. And then go ahead and take a large T-square or just a tape measure and a ruler and go down and mark all your hole locations. Now I decided to stop the holes roughly above where the bed starts, so you want to keep that in mind, not to go all the way down the board. I just made sure that these were aligned just so that things weren't crooked in the end. And I came back with a 1-inch Forstner bit and hand drilled all of the holes. I initially started with a guide to help me drill straight, but found that that took too much time and just went for it by hand, just keeping in mind that to keep them as straight as possible. Then I grabbed my sander and sanded everything down to 220 grit because all of these surfaces are going to be exposed. I sanded every edge and rounded them over slightly so they were nice to the touch. Then added a coat of shellac, and the reason I went with shellac is that it's just a really clear finish. It's pretty durable, but it dries really fast. Then Molly grabbed the track saw guide and we went ahead to cut the lower plywood sections. This is what the mattress is actually going to sit on. Now if you don't have a track saw, just use your circular saw and do your best to go in a straight line or clamp a board on there as a guide. Molly also went ahead and cut out some strips out of the leftover piece, and we'll use these strips later for shelving. Then she cross-cut the final piece to length, and this is just the overall mattress length plus an inch. Again, sanded everything with 220 grit sandpaper and applied a coat of shellac in the same fashion. Try to go ahead and apply everything beforehand just to make our life easier in the end. Then we grabbed a couple 2x4s, and these are going to make up the stretchers that actually support the mattress underneath. So I laid out some lines in a decorative angle that'll sort of make the bed feel a little bit lighter, and went ahead and cut those out again with the track saw. You could again use your circular saw or a jigsaw to make that cut. We're going to make 3 of these in total. Then using these really handy bench dogs from Modular, I went ahead and applied finish. These things are great because, like you can see, just flip the board around and go ahead and apply finish, and you don't have to wait for one side to dry. Now we are moving on to making the legs of the bed. So I grabbed a block of walnut that I got from Modular and went ahead and rounded over the corners just to help speed up the turning process later. It's just less material to remove. And we mounted it up on the mini Excelsior lathe and got to turning. Now if you're new to wood turning or would like to start, this is a really great beginner lathe, and these carbide tools that I'm using here make the process of learning much faster and easier. But if you have no interest in learning how to use a lathe, there are store-bought available legs that you can purchase and use those instead. I will have links to this lathe, the carbide tools, and those store-bought legs down in the description below. Here I'm just turning the tenon that we'll later use to attach these legs to those stretchers. As you can see, the fit was pretty good. And here is my favorite part. I'm just applying a little bit of Danish oil to this walnut, and the grain really starts to pop when you're doing this. And then I like to turn it on and kind of buff it out. We're now going to bring those stretchers back over to the workbench and clamp the angled section parallel to the workbench. And we're going to go ahead and drill a hole matching our tenon all the way through these stretchers. Then using a bit of glue, we are going to push these legs through the holes we just created, and this will make a very secure, tight joint. and I'm just repeating it on the opposite side. So this is the front stretcher of the bed. And then repeating the same steps for the middle stretcher, except for there's just one hole in the center. And in order to get all these legs at the same height, I cut a scrap piece of wood and used a chisel. You can use a pencil or anything, and scribed a line on the leg. And then I went ahead and hand sawed those off. This just makes sure everything sits flat later. Now it's time to go ahead and start installing the headboard. So here I'm just measuring to the top of where my plywood panel will be, so I know where the top board should go. And I'm just striking a level line across as reference, and going back with the stud finder and marking where my stud locations are. Now I'm just taking a 2x4 that I've cut in half, centering it on the wall and attaching it on that level line. And I'll do the same thing for the second one by measuring down from that pre-existing board that I already know is level and attaching it in the same way. And finally, I'll do the last one at the very bottom of the wall. Now moving on to applying the actual headboard, I'm actually putting in an outlet right here. It's a bit beyond the scope of this video, so consult with a local electrician if that's something you want to do. Now we are just attaching those headboard panels using some finish head screws so that they hide nicely. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the second half of the headboard, making sure that they're pushed together really tight. Now we're going to add the third stretcher to the actual headboard. This just gets screwed in, making sure that it's the same height as your other stretchers. Now we're taking those bottom panels that the mattress is going to sit on, and we are going to prop that up on the first stretcher and screw it into our outside or front stretcher. Then we're going to add the second one and do the same there, just screwing it in. And before we screw it into the back of the headboard, we're going to put the middle one in like we did right there, then screw it into the back. And then you're going to see us with a tape measure here, trying to find the center of this mattress board and then centering up that center leg, and finally just screwing it in from the top. Now, as a decorative and cool detail, we're adding some strip LED lighting, something we've never done before, but it was really easy to apply. It's just sticky back, and you peel it off and apply it. And then, just as an extra detail and to cover up the edges, we added this diffusing material with Velcro, and this is just going to help distribute the light evenly. This is what you see in those fluorescent tube lights. Now to unboxing our brand new Lisa mattress, which is actually a sponsor of today's video, and check out how cool this thing is. So basically it just comes to your front doorstep in a box, you undo the packaging, you open it up, and boom, it just sort of inflates and it's there. Instead of having to cram a full mattress in the back of your car, it just magically appears. It's a pretty awesome product, but beyond that, the company is absolutely outstanding. Everything is made in the USA, and what really hit me in the keynotes here is that for every single mattress they sell, they plant a tree. And for every 10 mattresses they sell, they donate one. So this company is absolutely outstanding. They offer you a 100-day risk-free trial, so if you're interested in a mattress, definitely give them a shot. We've definitely been extremely satisfied with this mattress so far. Now we are moving on to adding some shelves, and we just cut those pieces up from those strips we cut earlier, and we cut a whole bunch of dowels too. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and start placing those all over the board here. We really love the functionality of this. You can really customize it, make it exactly how you want. And we even made these cool little nightstands on the side here by just combining two shelves and some side pieces. That's pretty much gonna do it for this project, so sit back and enjoy these final shots.
wrap it up for this week's video. We really try to do something cool and unique, and although it's a very large project, it's really easy to make, so we do have a set of plans on our website. There will be a link in the description, and really the only main tools you need is a circular saw and a drill.
Yep, very simple project this week, although it looks amazing and super functional. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We'd like to thank our sponsors for this week's video, which is Lisa. They supplied the mattress and also sponsored the video, as well as Rockler Woodworking Hardware, which gave us all the awesome tools that you saw us using in this video. So we greatly appreciate them, and they definitely made this build possible. So if you're interested in seeing any of those tools or this mattress and more details, we do have links in the description below, so go check those out. And if you're supporting them, you're supporting us. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week.